Atrial fibrillation webinar last night, a worldwide success. We maxed out the webinar room with 100 souls. We were actually sold out 10 minutes before the webinar started. That's how popular this information is. And, you know, really, we've struck a nerve here. You know, I have a skill. One of my skills is to be able to disseminate seemingly complicated information, medical information, in an easy-to-understand working man and working woman's way, right? I do have that skill. And that has a little bit to do with the popularity of the webinars. But I've got to tell you, much more to the point is that everybody is sick and suffering. Everybody is up against it. Everybody is thirsty. And Dr. Wallach and I are the only ones that have the water bottle. We're the only ones. And so that's why more and more and more and more and more and more and more people are flocking to this oasis. The oases of Dr. Wallach's radio program, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, airs right here on GCN. My radio show, of course, the webinars that I do. If you want access to my webinars, go to my website. Become an insider, a Dr. Glidden insider, $20 a month. Cancel at any time. Buy a year's subscription, save even more. And get informed, get access to life-changing information from the real, true perspective of medicine. Because this is the problem that we're up against all around the world. Your medical doctor does not know medicine. Nobody does. Medicine is a vast territory. Your medical doctor only knows what they've been trained in, and what they've been trained in is one tiny part of the territory of medical science. It's referred to as allopathic reductionism, and allopathic reductionism is pretty good for surgery. It's pretty good for a handful of infectious diseases. And surgery when it's necessary, trauma care, and surgery when it's necessary, but for everything else, for the stuff that most people go to the doctor for, most of the time, not only are their therapeutics unbelievable, but it has, not only are their therapeutics not good, but their methodology is corrupt. Their methodology is inconsistent with the reality of what it means to be a human being. They've thrown the baby out with the bathwater. Because they've thrown the baby out with the bathwater, they get it wrong all of the time. But because they dominate the medical marketplace, nobody knows that there's any other alternative. And there are. And that's what we're all about. And that's why people are flocking to the websites. Because you can't suppress the truth. You can't. I mean, you can have a room that's been dark for 5,000 years. You can have a room that's been in total darkness for 5,000 years. A little cave someplace in the Rocky Mountains. 5,000 years. There hasn't been one speck of light. And you turn one candle on once. Boom! All of a sudden, it dispels the darkness immediately. Immediately. 5,000 years of darkness gone. Boom. In an instant. Well, that's what we bring to the table here, and that's why our message is spreading rapidly and with such force, because we're holding the water bottle and everybody is dying of thirst. Now, last night's webinar, 100 souls participated, 100 people who wanted to know what the holistic perspective on atrial fibrillation was. It was a great community. It was a great community of people. And I just talked about this on Dr. Wallach's show. I subbed for him today. The fact of the matter is that notwithstanding the information, which is pretty good if I do say so myself, but notwithstanding the information, one of the things that drives people to the webinars, one of the things that makes the live webinars so attractive is the community of people that are involved in the webinars. It's the community that's the thing. This is why we go to the movies still. I mean, think about it, right? You could rent the DVD and stay home, get it from Netflix. You don't even have to wait anymore. You just go to Netflix and dial up the movie and watch it from your home theater, which nowadays, a lot of people's home theaters are right up there with the movie theaters, right? You could do that, or you can get in your car. You can drive 15 minutes. You can look for a parking spot. You can walk across the parking spot in bad, inclement weather. You can hope that you didn't park next to somebody who's going to nick your door when they open your door. You can go in and pay $10, $15, $20 for a movie ticket, and then $10, $15, $20 for some popcorn, a soda pop, and some jujubes. You're out $40 plus gas, right? But people still do that. Instead of staying at home and getting something from Netflix for $5. Why do we do that? Because we like the community. You like sitting in a room with other people who are sharing the experience at the same time that you're sharing it. That's half of it. It's probably more than half of it. It's the community is the thing. We are communal creatures by nature. Human beings are communal creatures by nature. We're tribal. Right? It takes a village, right? Well, there's something to be said about the energy in the chat room. And even though it's virtual, there's people all around the world who at the same time are at the same event that you are. You're not in their physical presence, but you're in their mental and their emotional presence, and that makes a difference. Support is everything here. Support is everything here, because especially in the beginning, when you're frustrated with the conventional approach and you know that there's got to be a better way, but you don't know what it is, you're cautiously skeptical. That's human nature. And so instead of jumping into the water, you dip your little toe in it and you wade into it slowly, and so you join Youngevity. You become a Youngevity member. You become a Youngevity customer. You get involved somehow. And it takes a little bit of getting used to really understand that this is the real deal. It takes a while for your natural skepticism to melt away. By the way, it's not really skepticism. It's something else. But it takes a while for that to melt away. And one of the best ways to reinforce the new way, to help your body-mind get rid of the old way, one of the best ways to enforce a new habit, to actualize a new way of thinking, to strengthen yourself in the new discipline, is to hang out with people who are doing exactly the same thing. To hang out with people who are doing exactly the same thing. That's why we go to college. To hang out with people who are doing exactly the same thing. That's why we're on teams, sport teams, to hang out with people who are doing exactly the same thing, so we can learn from them. We can feel supported in what we're doing. We can feel like we're not the only ones. And really, is this really real? Is this really true? Well, yes, it is. And this message is reinforced a little bit every time that you join the chat. A little bit every time. Because you see that other people have the same questions. You see that other people have the same concerns. You see that other people have the same positive experiences of the program. Pain and suffering, as it turns out, know no countries. They know no race. They know no creed. It's across the world, everywhere, all the time, especially now. Because for the last 100 years, we've all gone in the wrong direction. We followed the MD's advice, and they're killing us. And so now, we come over the hill, Youngevity Nation, the Youngevity Cavalry charges over the hill and says, wait a minute, it's not that way, it's this way, follow us, you're going the wrong way, follow us, follow us. It takes a little bit of faith to want to do that, and then it takes a little bit of experience to help that experience sink in, so that you can actually understand once and for all and get it into your bone marrow that this is the right thing to do. And this is the operative power. This is why we do the live chats. Yeah, the information is one thing, and the information is great. The information is, effective. The information is useful. The information is life-changing, but it's the community that's the thing. It's the community that's the thing. And when you combine a community of like-minded souls who are in it for the mission, mission before commission, when you combine a group of people who are compassionate and caring and open-minded and action-oriented with a real, effective, science-based, clinically verified methodology, that's a home run. I mean, that's like never fail fudge, man. It's like never fail fudge. And that's why, if you haven't already taken the plunge, you need to get it. You need to get with it and become a member, become a longevity member. What are you waiting for? I mean, you really want to get your toe wet? It's $10. Can you afford a $10 one-time membership fee? Can you? If you really want to play this game hard, you pony up $500. You get $500 worth of nutritional supplements into the bargain, plus the ability to be paid by the company for 10 different ways. And armies need to be paid, don't they? This is an army. It's a non-militant army. It's an army of the truth. And that's why it exists. That's why Longevity Nation exists. That's why. To bring people into the light of medical nutrition, to take a little bit of human suffering away, to just do a little bit. Just one person. One person a week. How's that? And imagine what would happen if they did one person a week, and they did one person a week, and they did one person a week, and they did one person in a week. In a year, the whole world would be healed to the ability that it's able to be. This is not some panacea, cure-all stuff. It's science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition that makes a difference. Makes a distinct, measurable, noticeable difference. It improves people's lives. It improves the quality of people's lives. Makes people able to actually enjoy life, sleep through the night, digest their food without having to worry about it. Are you kidding me? This is the best stuff to happen to medicine since the invention of the sterile technique, and we're giving it away. FireYourMDNow.com should be on the top of everybody's browser, and I want you to email that link to everybody in your world. Get your old high school yearbook out and start emailing it to everybody in the yearbook. Go through your phone list. Email this link to everybody in your phone. Take action, and let's make a difference. Germany's up next when we come back. Stick around. 866-582-9933. Give me a shout. Today is Friday, February 28th, and we are live. Achtung, baby. Let's go across the pond and see what's happening in Germany. Hey, Gottfried, welcome back. You are live.
Hey, Doc.
Gottfried, how's it going, man?
Oh, you're so expensive of late.
Expensive? What do you mean?
I can't get hold of you.
Oh, well, I don't think expensive is the right word. Busy would be a better word. Yeah, I've been very, very, very busy these last couple days.
Okay.
I'm like the one-armed paper hanger, but you've got me now live, brother, so what's going on?
Can you donate a bone marrow?
Oh, can you donate a bone marrow? You can, but I don't see any reason to. It's a very painful operation, by the way. It's very, very painful. Bone marrow biopsy is a very painful thing. And so you've got someone, I'm assuming, who has leukemia?
I got a 20-year boy who is suffering from this disease, and doctors are calling for bone marrow donor.
Yeah,
and we need to rescue him.
Well, what's the disease?
They said he have a bone marrow cancer or bone marrow disease.
Yeah, so what needs to happen is he and his parents need to ask the doctor how successful the treatment will be. What are the side effects of the treatment going to be? What drugs is he going to need to be on in order to manage the side effects of the treatment? And what is the possible potential outcome? Because the doctor is not inclined, especially when it comes to cancer, to tell the patient the real truth. And as far as the doctor's concerned, it's the practice of medicine, and even though this treatment is only 10% effective 100% of the time, we need to learn from every patient. So we're going to do this extremely painful thing to you, and it's only going to have a very small percentage of effectiveness, but we're going to learn from it so that the next person who comes along will be able to increase the effectiveness of the treatment by 0.5% or whatever. So, apparently there's an illness which is at play here, but whether or not the treatment is actually effective is questionable, and the parents need to find that out. They need to know. I mean, is this going to work? Is it not going to work? Is it going to cure the condition? Is it not going to cure the condition? What's it going to do? How long is it going to last? What are the side effects going to be? What are you going to do for the side effects? What's going to happen to the quality of life, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Now, when they get those questions answered, they may feel differently about engaging with the medical treatment. They may. They may not. I mean, sometimes for certain forms of cancer, I can only think of one type of childhood leukemia that conventional medical treatment is actually effective for, but I don't think this is it. So, I mean, knowledge is power, especially when it comes up to life-threatening conditions. But the problem here is, when it is a life-threatening condition, the MDs shut the hell up about it because they know they've got you. They know they've got you. Because you're afraid. You're going to do anything the doctor tells you to do because it's the life of your child, and you trust the doctor knows best, and they don't. So these parents of this kid, or the kid if he's an adult, needs to get informed, needs to ask the hard questions to his cancer doctor. And when he does that, we can move forward. But so, what we do to support and promote the structure and function of the bone marrow is the Healthy Start Pack, selenium, and liquid glucogel, appropriate for body weight. Liquid glucogel plus. The liquid glucogel plus, appropriate for body weight. The Healthy Start Pack and selenium. And that's a really good place to start. And, we can't treat cancer. That's illegal. We don't treat any disease here. We just support and promote the function of the body. Never a bad idea to help the body function better on the immune level with Z-radical or the fucoidan. Or, you can get that in I think the best bang for your therapeutic buck in this regard is the immortalium. Because the immortalium has the fucoidan in it, plus it's got the other stuff as well. It's got superoxide dismutase, which is very good for your antioxidant ability. It's got MSM, which is very good for antioxidant. It's loaded with stuff that's good for the cause here. So that's what I would do, man. I do the liquid glucogel, I do the Healthy Start Pack, I do the selenium, and I do immortalium. And I would ask the oncologist the hard questions. No kidding. And look, even if worst case scenario, he really does need a bone marrow transplant, and that's really going to be an effective treatment. It's going to be much easier for him to handle the stress of that treatment if his body's nutrified than if he just goes in cold. So either way, it's like never fail fudge, man. Check it out. See what happens. Give us a call back, Godfried. You continue to rock the Eastern world. Keep up the good work. Coming back to Idaho after these messages, folks. Stick around. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Friday, finishing it up. Another week. Friday, February 28th, 2014. Let's go to the land of the potato in Idaho and talk to Chris. Hey, Chris, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Thanks, Dr. Glidden. I appreciate the time to talk with you. I watched the weight loss webinar.
Oh, yeah.
I've been gluten-free for about 3 weeks. I've been on BTT, Healthy Start Packs, for about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But for the last 3 weeks, I've been gluten-free. I've been trying to keep my calories at around 1,200 a day. I've been doing about 8 eggs, right around 8, some days maybe 12. Had a couple of bananas a day, maybe a couple of tomatoes a day, and maybe a couple of corn tortillas per day. But I haven't lost any weight, and I'm just getting a little irritated.
All right, good. I'm glad you called because
my blood sugar and my blood sugar, I want to mention, is high. I'm at about 290.
So is that a problem for you historically? Have you been diagnosed with type 2?
Well, the doctor said I was pre, and then they at one point they didn't want to put me on insulin, and I didn't want to, and I told them I'd try to work it out another way. But I guess the short answer is at one point about 2 years ago they said that I was my blood sugar. So I did just have a blood test, and my AC1 came back at 12.6.
Wow. Yeah. So you've got it. That's high. All right, so you need to switch to the healthy blood sugar pack. Are you taking that, or are you just doing the healthy start pack?
I'm doing 4 to 8 sweeties a day.
Okay. All right, so you're doing everything right. Now, so the only time that medical nutrition fails is if you're not taking the right stuff, or you're not absorbing it effectively, or you just haven't given the program time enough. Now,
right.
It is impossible, and let me say this again, it is impossible to eat a calorie-restricted diet and not lose weight. You can't do it. The only time that can be confounded is if while you're on a restricted calorie diet, you all of a sudden, pick up a weightlifting craze, or you go back to the gym and you start working out, because muscle weighs more than fat.
Right.
So you build muscle and you burn fat and you actually gain a pound, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well, what the hell?
Haven't been doing any exercise.
All right. So then there's only one possibility, and well, there's two. You've got a voodoo curse, right? Or you're eating more than 1,200 calories a day, and that's just a fact. And this is one of the hardest things to dial in, so don't feel bad. It's just a difficult thing to be able to actually figure out how many calories you're getting. I'll never forget. I'm going to share with you a little story here. I had a long conversation with Dr. Wallach in the first year that I became enamored of him and became a student of his, literally. I started talking to Dr. Wallach every day. We talk for 15, 20, 30 minutes at a time, and I'd ask all these medical questions, and he'd fill me in. And he's told me a story. When he was in medical school, believe it or not, he owned a bariatric clinic. He owned a weight loss clinic when he was studying to become a naturopathic doctor. And there was a doctor that ran the clinic, an MD that ran the clinic. Dr. Wallach owned it, and he would go there and study, on the weekends and in his part-time. I imagine having part-time while you're in medical school, that's a testament to Dr. Wallach's intellectual capacity. But nonetheless, Wallach has a lot of practical, pragmatic experience with weight loss. And, I was telling him, he was telling me a story that he had a very difficult patient. He told the patient to do everything, a limited calorie diet, less than 1,200 a day, do these nutritional supplements, gluten-free, et cetera, et cetera. And the patient came back to him and said, "Doc, I'm doing everything that you tell me, and I'm not losing any weight." And Wallach said, "BS. You're eating more than 1,200 calories." And the guy said, "I am not." And Wallach said, "BS. He said, "I want to go to your house. You're going to show me what you eat, and you're going to pay me $100 for every calorie that you eat over 1,200. The guy said, "You're on. It's a deal. Let's go." Right?
Yeah.
He ended up paying Wallach like $800 or $900. More than that, $100 for every calorie. He ended up paying Wallach thousands. I think it was $2,000 because he was eating 200 more calories, 300 for, I don't know what the numbers were, but he ended up paying Wallach a considerable sum because he was eating calories that he didn't know about.
Mm-hmm.
So what you need to do, because we got to get serious about this, right? What you need to do is download an app for your phone that's a calorie counting app.
All right.
And there's a bunch of free ones. I don't know which one is best. I can ask the chat room the next time we have a chat, which is the best one that people think. Or you could go to Facebook. You know what you want to do? Go to Wellness Warriors in Facebook. Wellness Warriors, WARRIORZ, like zebra. Wellness Warriors on Facebook. That's a longevity group. And ask the group there if, what their advice is on calorie counting apps. And then you just have to get into the habit for at least 4 days in a row of actually counting your calories. So you don't just guess, you don't just assume, well, son of a gun, today I got 1,125 calories, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Once you do that, and specifically that you're doing less than 1,200 calories a day, then you'll start losing weight. And when people dial that in, the weight loss is about between 1 and 2 pounds a week, right? So that's what you should be looking for, 1 to 2 pounds a week. Now,
okay.
If you want to accelerate that, right? If you want to accelerate the weight loss, you do the 500 calorie a day diet, and that's really hard. I mean, that is really hard, and I don't recommend it. So I want you to become like, no kidding, man, I want you to be like the calorie freaking counting expert of Idaho. No kidding. Because that's what's at play here. Look, there was nobody in Auschwitz that was overweight. Nobody in Dachau that was overweight. Didn't matter what their pre-existing medical condition or anything was, right? If you don't eat, you lose weight, and so you're eating too many calories, period. There's hidden calories. Oh, and don't neglect the calories that are in the nutritional supplements. There's not a lot, but, every calorie counts. And so if you just get a heads up on that, there's no problem moving forward here.
Okay. And then
I just got a text. I got a text from someone in my group on my phone. It said calorie counting apps have different features, so it's up to the individual. My favorite is MyFitnessPal, P-A-L, MyFitnessPal. So check that out. That comes from a very good source, by the way.
All right, I'll look into that. What about the blood sugar?
You just got to give it more time. You just got to give that more time.
And that'll take care of itself at this point.
Well, the reason that your blood sugars are high, from our point of view, is because your body has lost the material that it needs to regulate your blood sugars. And specifically, that's vanadium and chromium, plus about 24, 25 other trace minerals. So it's just a matter of your body loading itself with the minerals, and that's going to take time. And, of course, the more body fat you have, the longer it's going to take to do that, right?
Okay.
So that's just a question of time. And I can guarantee that your blood sugar will normalize. I can guarantee. It might take a year. It might take 6 months. I don't know. It's going to happen. I can guarantee that it'll happen. You just got to stay on the horse. And, call me back with questions like this. You're doing exactly the right thing, Chris. When we dial it in for you, you're going to get remarkable results. So stick with it, man, and keep calling us back with updates. I will look forward to it. Keep up the good work, man. All right, let's go to the East Coast now, Alabama, and talk to Anthony. Hey, Anthony, what's up?
Hey, Dr. Glidden, how you doing today, sir?
I'm great. Happy Friday, Anthony. How's it going in Bama?
Dr. Glidden, I'm getting people coming out of the woodworks. They're getting fed up with being on medication.
Yeah.
And they're saying enough is enough, and we have the solution for them. So they're quite happy when I tell them about Dr. Log and Benny Hinn and you and your show, and they're ready to listen now,
That's how we do it, brother. That's exactly how we do it. Good job.
Got two gentlemen. One is an older gentleman, 70s, around Doc's age, 78, got diabetes and asthma, Hispanic male, and 230 pounds, 5'6" to 5'7", and he's ready to get off the diabetes and stop the asthma.
Well, all right, so he's got to stop the 10 bad foods. That's mandatory. If he doesn't do that, he should expect, a little bit of results, but not a lot of results. So he needs to stop eating the 10 bad foods, number one. Number two, to support and promote healthy blood sugar metabolism, it's easy. It's one healthy blood sugar pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. So at his weight, he would need 2 healthy blood sugar packs a month. 2 healthy blood sugar packs a month. And you can give him 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium a month. 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium a month. And from our point of view, asthma is a function of essential fatty acid deficiencies, especially omega-3 fatty acids. So in addition to the EFAs that are in the healthy blood sugar packs, you can round out his program with 1 extra bottle of Prohoba Omega. Prohoba Omega. Prohoba, of course, is a subsidiary of Youngevities. They're the people that make the pollen burst, right?
Right.
So get a bottle of the Prohoba Omega, 4 bottles of selenium, 2 healthy blood sugar packs. But this gentleman has to be advised that unless he eliminates the 10 bad foods, we're spitting into the wind and we should expect nothing remarkable from the program. Something positive has to happen, but it's not going to be groundbreaking. I tell you, man, often when people just eliminate the 10 bad foods, that's it. They don't do anything else. Nothing. They just stop eating that crap. There's a noticeable physical difference. I mean, noticeable. So this is of maximum importance with everybody moving forward here. And if you can get everybody to stop the 10 bad foods, they're going to get much better results from medical nutrition.
Gotcha.
All right. Was there somebody else? Okay, shoot.
Yeah, second gentleman, younger black male, 41, 315 pounds, overweight. Gets real bad bronchitis. Says when he gets a cold, it acts up really bad, and he's got joint pain, shoulder and back pain, and wants to cleanse his system.
Well, he doesn't need to cleanse his system. This is a common misconception. He doesn't need to cleanse.
Okay.
He needs to nutrify, right? First we nutrify, and then 6 months down the road we can talk about a cleanse if we talk about it at all. It's not necessary. What he needs to do is eliminate the 10 bad foods, take the healthy bone and joint pack as much as he can afford. If he can afford 3 because he's 300 pounds, that's what he needs. If he can't do that, then he needs 2. If he can't do that, then he needs 1. He needs to be on the healthy bone and joint pack and selenium appropriate for body weight. So that's 1 pack and 1 selenium per 100 pounds per month, plus eliminate the 10 bad foods. And again, for extra lung support, I would add the Prohoba Omega. And counsel him, please, not to take an antibiotic, because antibiotics do not treat bronchitis. MDs prescribe that crap all of the time. Thanks for the call, Anthony. Welcome back, everybody. Finishing out the first hour today on Friday, 28th day of February 2014. Let's go to Michigan and talk to Mary. Hey, Mary, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hello, Dr. Glidden.
Hello, Mary. What's happening?
Hello. Everything is happening, and none of it's good.
Yeah.
I've been calling you for so long. It is such a pleasure to be able to finally get through.
Oh, isn't that very kind? Well, I'm happy that we have finally connected. How can I help?
I need to fire my doctor and get rid of these meds.
Yeah,
I am on so many for things that I know that you have this answer for. Because these are just not meds I need to be on.
Well, sometimes medication is useful and beneficial, but it's rare. And, the problem with the meds is not that they're synthetic, man-made pharmaceutical things sold for profit. It's because they don't fix the illness. They don't fix it. They just manage it. And that's the problem. They just manage it, man. I mean, it's like if you had mold intrusion in your bathroom, you wouldn't just paint over it, right? You'd figure out where the water was coming from and you'd fix it. Well, that's a smart thing to do. The MDs never do that. They just paint over it with drugs. And, things get worse and worse and worse and worse. Good for them, more drugs for you, right? But bad for you. So I'm glad you found me.
I'm taking rat poison, and I don't think that's something that's best for me.
Yeah, Coumadin. So what's your diagnosis?
My diagnosis, I had pulmonary embolism and DVT in February of last year. And my levels never get within the therapeutic range. Never. I don't care how much they give me. When they check my PTINR, it's never in the therapeutic range between 2 and 3. It's always 1.8.
That's because you don't have a rat poison deficiency, right?
No.
So rat poison is the wrong, which is also known as Coumadin or warfarin, which is what they have you on for this. The reason that your numbers aren't optimized is because that's just a stupid medicine to give you. It's an ineffective medicine, and it needs to be changed. That's why your numbers haven't localized.
But, for me to be on it for so long and never hit the therapeutic range but one time in over a year?
Well, that means your doctor's an idiot.
Am I needing it? You know?
Well, yeah, it means your doctor's an idiot, right? I mean, it's nuts.
I'm having, my blood pressure is always 120/70, but he puts me on Lotro 1025. And
Why?
every month I go to him, I'm gaining 10 pounds, 15 pounds. Now I'm at the point where I'm swelling so bad that nothing is working. I call him and I say, am I on a calcium channel blocker? Because I seem to be gaining and retaining fluids at such a rate that there's no way I could eat that much. And I'm up to, 250. My blood pressure is never over 120/70. Why?
Well, what was the answer? What was the answer?
I haven't got an answer yet.
Yeah, wasn't that just great?
I haven't got an answer yet.
Yeah.
No answer is always the answer, right?
Yeah.
And
that's
the only pressure is never a problem. But it is becoming a problem with all the fluid retention.
All right. Well, look, there's nobody's holding the gun to your head forcing you to take the blood pressure medicine, right?
I don't take it.
Well, all right. So there you go.
Just stop taking it because I want to see what are the symptoms I'm supposed to be having if I've got high blood pressure.
All right. So listen. High blood pressure is called the silent killer because you can have really super high blood pressure and not even know it. So you got to get a blood pressure cuff. Sounds to me like you already have one. You need to get into the habit of taking your blood pressure twice a day and writing the numbers down. As far as I'm concerned, write the numbers down. Write them down. Write them down every day. Keep a flow chart.
This is not it.
All right, well, listen to me. We're up against a hard break here. I want you to stick around. I'm going to finish up with you at the top of the next hour. But from my point of view, the upper end of normal for high blood pressure is 140/90. So as long as both numbers are under that, you are good. You don't need blood pressure medication. But I've got something else in my bag of tricks for you, Mary. Stick around. Hour 2 is coming up, folks. I am Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Thanks for tuning in. More to come.